Hey folks, so I'm going to jump around. I don't know that these will be in alphabetical order. I'm going to try and keep them in alphabetical order today, but I may jump around a little bit. So let's just get into it. First and foremost, consider subscribing and putting on the notifications to this channel because what you're seeing is going to be somewhat time sensitive, especially today with options expiration. So I'm going to talk fast so that the processing speeds up. I just want to jump into this one. No one brought this up to me today, but again, one of the things I try to teach here is process and key levels. So for anybody that is looking at this or wanted to be into this, you have a convergence of 2 points here today. You have a convergence of the 5 and this low. Now, if you drill down into this daily, and let's just get into a 15-minute, okay, you can see what transpired, right? You can see this, okay? This is today. This is this morning. Look where it goes to, 42 foot. Does it ever break there on the day? Never, okay? This was a clear sign that if you had your alert in, this is something you could have been in today. And the 5-day moving average is 43. So we hit the 5-day and then we broke up. Okay, so there's a way that you could be looking to buy these things closer to support levels, and then if they break those support levels, sell them. For example, this breaks $1 after I own it there. Okay, you can even do like a fast trigger, like where you're not even waiting for this. You're waiting for this to happen. And then you see this gap, and you don't even have to wait for this. You can drill down and you can even go lower. And I know people say don't use 1-minute charts. I use 1-minute charts. I don't care. So here we are in the 1-minute chart. Test, bounce, test. Not one close there, right? So when you see this and then you see us roll here, and then, this is textbook stuff. And I just think that people need to be aware of it a little bit more and like setting these levels and preparing to get into these kinds of trades. So that's it for space. Now you're going to have people saying, oh, I'm going to buy it now. Well, if you had a plan laid out this morning, you're in 5 points cheaper with $1 stop instead of buying it up here, looking at this low of the day and hoping it holds 42.5. So just think like that. Or try to think like that. So AMC, I was asked about. Let's just go through the daily here. So, I have a break, then I have an inside day to inside day. Frankly, the market's being so manipulated right now by the larger players, and the regulatory commission's not doing anything, that it's very difficult to tell you what's going to happen here. They can come in tomorrow and say, oh, this is what we're going to do this time. Frankly, I think they got so much noise and so much grief off what they did that we're going to see an end to that nonsense. But just keep that in mind. Now, if I was looking to play this for options, I would imagine this thing's just going to get pegged today to $15. That would be my first thought. I could be wrong, but that would be my first thought. And I would be looking for a break above the 1653 level or taking out the low of the day to convince me that I need to get out. Now, AMD, this is exactly what AMD does, right? We're forming this wedge, semis, it hits here, and we're holding this level. If we close below this 87 and 11 level, which we're set up to do right now, if we do close below there, and these are all pointing down and starting to roll, technically, even though, it could be something that we buy off a pullback, I would be out if I bought it today. That would concern me because then it leaves us vulnerable to here, and I don't want to take that much risk. The majority of this, and you can see this is always very interesting, right? You can see how here's that support level right to the 200-day. The question is how much risk are you willing to take for how much reward? And you really have to come up with your own numbers. But that's enough of that one for me. If it closes below that line, BT. This was on my list today. I did not buy it. This is really classic. We open, break support, and now we're here, and now we're here. Now, what we did here, and we're doing a little more process today, we filled the gap. All we did was fill the gap, right? See that gap? And you can really zoom in here, and we can. So all we did was fill this gap. between this bar and that bar. It's all we did today. And we came to this moving average, 21 day. What did we do with that? We stopped. Okay, that would tell me that all we wanted to do was fill this gap and test this level, which is what we've done. Now, I still went and touched this because of this break. I would have to close over this for me to be involved in it. So 21.91 on BT, and then we could continue to see this reversal. Crowd, I mean, just for point of reference on the daily, these lines have been in for weeks. And you can see exactly, I haven't looked at this chart in a while, and you can see exactly what it did. It came right to this level, right? 193, and what did we do? We bounced right off that, right near the 50-day. But now we're trapped between the 21 and the 50. So what do we want to do here? Well, we really don't want to do anything. We just want to sit, watch, and wait. There's really nothing for us to do except that at this point. Just sit, watch, wait, and go from there. So that's what we're going to do. And I think that that's, sometimes that's kind of important. Just sit, watch, and wait, right? Let this battle play itself out. If I'm truly interested in this and want to be involved in it, you can see this wedge. Wait for this wedge to break. But you have too many different resistance levels in here to really jump in there. DraftKings just does exactly what you think it's going to do and constantly, breaks your heart. But what's interesting about this is we did close over these support levels, and we did test these two little levels that are in here. And, every time you think this one's going to go, it doesn't. But we're resting right on here. Now, I've been a proponent of this is not going to work after the Super Bowl because betting's going to slow, but people think that more betting's going to come in and that's going to fix it. I trade on technicals. I don't trade on fundamentals, and I certainly don't trade on what-ifs. But closing above here, I thought was extremely bullish. And look at this volume, right? Look at the volume. So I thought this was extremely bullish, and it just didn't act that way. So let's just keep going here. So someone said to me today, I'm still in FCX. And I said, my answer is, okay, great. Just because it's out of the newsletter does not mean that the trade's not going to work. I put a lot of time trying to figure out what stocks in the newsletter that you can basically trade just off of what I type in 3 lines. So there's a lot that goes into it. Doesn't mean that this trade's not going to work for that, lady or gentleman that brought it up. It just means that at this point it's just not in the newsletter. So, I always am in stuff that's in and out of the newsletter. I mean, I just am. But if I was to look at this on the 15-minute, I would not be overly excited at all. And, we're trying to rally, fail. We have this huge red bar, right? See this enormous red bar on the day? Boom. And then what happens with that red bar, right? And then we can just walk through this. So let's take a look at this and take a look at this. And then you can see, and you can actually drill down into this, right? So, and you can see what's going on there. And here we are on this one, and you can see what's going on here, right? So now you're right back to this line. This is where we sold out. We broke even and moved on. If I broke this 27.18 on the day, I would be out because that would lead me to believe that we're going back down to 26.28, and I wouldn't want to go for that ride. It does not mean that this does not shape up and offer us another opportunity. I just have the 5 and the 8 pointing down. We're trying to hold the 50. Why do I want to be in there being a hero? There's other stuff to look at. So, FUBU, the action yesterday was just predicated upon the fact, this huge red down bar was just predicated on one clear fact, that they decided to not allow people to, enter certain positions. And so we just saw selling, and they came out and said they're going to do some kind of offering as well. That didn't help. And then we've already made half those gains back. I personally think this is going to $62, and I like the action. We have tested this 40.18 level twice, 1, 2, and now we have the 8-day that it's supporting, and we're closing right on this level. As long as I close above 45, I said this yesterday in the text, as long as I close above 45, I'm happy. I'm right there. I'm long this. I bought more yesterday. I'm very comfortable with it. We're actually setting up a small flag here. A higher high is going to scare the hell out of people, and it's going to push this higher. this is the sixth largest short position out there. If you think these short games are going away, they're not. This is going to be a trend where these guys are going to go back to how it used to be when I started trading in the 90s, where we didn't talk about our short positions because you didn't want anyone to know you were short, because you didn't want people to do what's being done to you right now. They just got entirely too brazen, and you saw that with an expert short seller coming out today and saying, we're going to stop issuing short reports. He's not doing it to be altruistic. He realizes his game's over, and he's going to change his game. I mean, that's just smart. So FUV, this is in the newsletter. I added to this again today, and I like this position. What's interesting is this little break. Here we go again, right? And we're trying to break above it, and we're sitting right on it now. But you see this little wedge right here? And you see how we popped our head over this? I'm just taking a little side bet on my position. I'm already in on the break, but I'm adding to it, right? Because I like how this is sitting here. If we close above this, this will be an all-time high going into Monday. I'd like to be there for that. So IPOE, I think that this continues to go. Frankly, if it didn't have the move it had today, it would have been in the newsletter. Just disclosure, I have a position in this. So, Chatmouth is all over Twitter coming out, talking about his positions. That's great. Robinhood is going to have massive issues over this and is going to need to be replaced. And he has something that he feels is worthy of that. Now, I don't know anything about it. All I know is by looking at this is setting up to go a lot higher. These huge gaps, I don't know where we close on the day, but when we have huge gaps like this, we usually tend to go a little higher, and we'll see how the volume comes in. But right now, there's nothing to do here except try to get it as close to this 22 level as possible, and then see if we push higher. So, and then let's go here on net. I was asked about this. We got stopped out in the newsletter for $1.25. I don't see anything here that's exciting that would make me want to buy this stock. I'm sitting right. I opened at the 21-day, and then I just sell down to the support level, and I'm sitting on it. And the 50 and the 21 are going to cross. And this is telling me with this double top and then this is telling me, that this is setting up. This kind of move is setting up. That's really what's going on here. You have this double top, boom, boom. And now you have this base, and now we have these crossing and getting ready to roll. That's telling me I'm setting up to trend down. Now, does that mean it happens? No. We could have one of those boomerang effects here and then retest. But I'm not seeing anything that's telling me that right now. Right now, what I'm being told is that this is coming. So NIO, we've been in this one since, I think, 48. I have to look at my cost, and then we added right here. We were lucky enough to grab this, but we're respecting this wedge on the way down. And then today, Morgan Stanley comes out and says $80 target price. I know it's not as exciting when we're only up, 3 or 5% on the day, considering the moves that you're seeing in the market right now. But I'll take it all day long. I'm very comfortable with it. So let's see what happens, and we'll go from there. Now, NIO, would I add to it here? No. I think we're pretty much in it. You can see this other wedge that's forming here. Let's just hold what we have, and let's just honor our stop, and then honor the stop for the wedge, which was, basically a close below this 21, which has yet to happen. We have yet to close below this 21 day, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon unless we get a reversal. So NVAX I was asked about last night. And what you're seeing here is a couple key levels. So here's minor resistance, and here was our after-hour close. And then you can see exactly where that was almost the low, right, of that bar. That's why it's somewhat interesting to put these levels in sometimes, because you can see them. And then here, what did we do? We gapped open, right? We gapped open over this, and then we tested these lows on the pre-data, right, or on the aftermarket data. And now we've just got a clear breakout on enormous volume, and you can see how deep this cup is. Just based upon this cup, it's a 90-point move, and you're at you're here at 190, 90 points on that. put you at like 270, 280. This could really run. And I said that there's very little resistance. If you go back and look at the Twitter notes, there's very, very little resistance at the 189.40 level. So that can very well happen. So NVTA came right to support, rallied, but I got these double tops, and I have all this resistance in here. I see no reason to be in this stock right now. And I'm just going to talk a little faster because I want to wrap this up. Rite Aid, let's go here, and you can see this 23.88 level is pretty key. All these are pointing up. We've had what I would call an exhaustion bar yesterday, and then here, this looks like a short raid to me. So I don't know. I would not be in a big hurry to buy something all the way up here. I would, if I wanted to try and play this, I would wait to see if it comes back down to this level and go from there. Now, RIOT we talked about the other day. Here's your minor support, which we held. We opened, and now we've just been selling down all day. I mean, gapped and just selling down all day. Now it's the 21 day, and we're going to test that. And as long as we hold that 21 day, you could be comfortable with this and think that it's going to consolidate and push higher. So we broke this downward wedge, and this is a nice opening. And I'm sure the people that are in here sold, and we have options X today, so that you're seeing some selling coming in. So TIGR, I'm going to run through this real quick. I just put this in the newsletter, and by the time this processes, the people from the newsletter will already have gotten it. But this was very interesting to me because we have a couple things going on here. We have a wedge that's broken out. We popped over this. We popped over the 5 and the 8, and now we're sitting right here. And I have a position in this, and I took it roughly right around this price. But this is a very easy trade. Your stop is a close below this, so we're really risking $1. We're risking very little to be in this because of the position of this, and there's a huge reward here where your first level takes you to here, so you're 3-to-1 on risk reward. But the other issue is that if you get back in this channel, which you're at the low end of it, if I drew it, we can go to 25 fairly easy. So I like this trade a lot. TLRY is just forming a huge flag here, and you can see it, and we're respecting the 1857 level, and I like that. I like the way this is acting. And look how many closes we're getting above that now. That's becoming the norm, so I like that. And then finally, Twillo we're going to do here, and just run through it. So Twillo, we're closing below the 5, the 8, the 21, and we're trapped between the 50 and the 21. I would not touch this. This could easily roll, but let's just do this real quick. All right, you can see this, right? You can probably see it here too. All right, so, there are key levels here, but if we close below this 50-day, this becomes in jeopardy, and you can see how that ties directly into this line, right? You're right here. So, you can see how that ties in. So, I would avoid this. This would not be something I would buy. Any questions, give me a call, message me, email me, whatever works. See ya.